Well, coming fast and furious here at Evansville. It's the media day for the OVC, and super excited to have the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles with us. Coach Stan Gouard and Jelani, I'm going to say this right, Simmons, are with us. First thing, it's media day. It's Division I. It's OVC. How surreal is this for you?
It's real now. We've been preparing for this moment since the summertime. When the announcement came out, things are moving kind of slow. We got our guys here back in the summer for 7 weeks, and it just didn't feel like we were here yet. But now we're here. You look at all the media outlets that are here right now, the different interviews we're having, and in a few weeks we'll be playing basketball at the Division I level. And I'm excited. Our guys are excited, and we're trying to prepare to get ready, for these moments. But it's go time.
I talked to Kyle Gerdman the other day, and I'll talk to him today at some point. But I remember when they were coming into the league in the springtime, like you guys were, and he said, people are answering my phone calls that didn't used to. And did you have a similar experience?
Absolutely. When you're at the D2 level, you deal with people that are on that level. I knew a lot of guys from my experience at Indiana State. But once we made the jump to Division I, my network increased, so to say. And it's a good thing. People represent our body of work here at USI. And now we're having those conversations with some of the higher major programs, mid-major programs for scheduling purposes. We were out in Dallas last week on recruiting trail and sit down with the big boys, I call it. So, But we're on that same level now. So we're just excited about the opportunity that it presents to us. And we're going to put our best foot forward. We're going to work hard, roll our sleeves up, and hopefully do some great things in this league.
Jelani, 14 points a game last year, but now we're stepping up, the proverbial big step. What's that challenge feel like? I mean, you guys haven't played a game yet, but what's that challenge feel like?
It was just going hard, really. We were preparing all summer for the season ever since we was told we was going D1. So, just our preparation, really. So, yeah.
When you step back and think, is there one thing you think, well, we're moving to this different level, what do we have to do differently?
Well, Jelani, circling back then, he played young before he came here. He had the opportunity to go to Auburn last year. So we got a feel for what it's like. But
you have connections with Auburn.
Oh, absolutely. I know a guy that can help us out,
right.
But, you asked a question. I kind of forgot what you asked. But
is there something you think we have to do this differently? We have to do this better, or whatever it might be as you're moving up?
I think the biggest thing, from watching the OVC championship game last year, I think I allude to this every day in practice with our student athletes. We have to play harder. These guys move a lot different than what we did at Division II level. No knock against Division II, but you're talking about a different level athlete at the Division I level. And the one thing I noticed about the Morehead State and the Murray State championship game is how hard they played every single possession, how fast they move. They executed very well. They were big, stronger, and faster than we were. And those are some of the things that we emphasize this whole summer. We do drills in practice all the time and just want our guys to have a more sense of urgency from point A to point B on the court. That's the biggest thing with me right now.
I talked to a coach the other day that they got like everybody back, and I said, how do you fight? Maybe we've done that. And he said, our guys are ultra competitive. We compete in layup lines.
Yeah.
Is it that kind of thing?
Well, it's getting there. It wasn't always that. We build up to that. I'm one of those kind of guys. If we're walking across the street, I want to win. And I think these guys are feeling now as we get closer to the season, the intensity level from the coaching staff. We have to set the tone as coaches every day for how we want to play. And our guys are intense. They are competing at a high level. And we're going to, try to get these guys to take it to another level because I think there's something else in the tank. And that's my job as their coach and leader to get it out of them.
Talk about your teammates. Obviously, there's been some changeover. You guys have added some players and so forth. Talk about your teammates, a teammate or two that stand out to you right now.
I'd say Gary Solomon. He came from a JUCO. 6'5" point guard is just the big pickup for us, really. He just got size, see the court and all like that. Another player I would say is JP. Great player to play with. I love playing with JP. He run through the wall for any of his teammates. He'll do anything for his teammates. So, those are just two guys for me, really.
And the Ohio Valley people that are on our website, They don't know you guys. Tell them about your game. When they see you play, what kind of a player are you?
I like to get out and run. I like to bring excitement to the court. Dunk, bounce dunk, shoot threes, all that. Just I love playing the game. It's just exciting.
There's a joy that came in his eyes when he started describing all that.
Absolutely. When you talk about himself, he's our guy. We kind of built this team around him. When we got him in a couple of years ago during the COVID times, it was one of those things where we wanted to get him really bad. We were fighting against some other institutions, and we got him on campus. He took a look around, and we made the marriage happen. So, but he brings a sense of excitement. Not just on the basketball court, but in that locker room. He's a great locker room guy. Probably the funniest guy on the team. He's always joking with our guys, but he also helps our young guys and teaching those guys how to be college basketball players and the expectations of me every day. With this being my third year, the culture is starting to come around, and it's because of guys like him that's been around for 3 years that's really helping mold that culture of our basketball team. But big time athlete, great shooter, and open court dunker. He talked about the bounce dunk. It drives me crazy. You'll see here pretty soon. He'll get down in traffic and just bounces off the ground. I'm like, that better go in, because if it don't, you're gonna be sitting by me. But really exciting player. He brings a sense of excitement to our fan base.
You did have to bring in a lot of new players, obviously. Talk about some of the new additions.
Oh man, 10 new guys. We lost a lot last year through the portal, but we wanted to really focus on toughness, physical and mental toughness. Great guys in the classroom, but really our shooting. We struggled last year to shoot the basketball. And that's never been a forte of my team. We worked on that with, the shooting from a shooting standpoint. Guys like Trevor Lakes, who was shooting in the 40s a couple of years ago, who I had at University of Indianapolis. When I went to University of Indianapolis, Trevor transferred to Nebraska in the Big Ten. Played a year there, and he came back, and he's shooting the ball extremely well for us. He's going to be a guy that can stretch the floor. Jeremiah Hernandez played at Kent State, Chicago kid. He brings some toughness to us, but really can stretch the floor, but can also deck it. As Jelani mentioned, Gary Solomon, 6'5" point guard. Gary is a big point guard. He's strong. He's got this Russell Westbrook mentality where he gets downhill, strong around the basket, but a great passer. Sees the floor very well. A really good on-ball defender. And then we just a late addition, Karan Powell. Local kid from Ball State High School, 6'10". That played at the University of Houston. So he brings some Final Four experience to our program. He's a little ways behind because we didn't have him this summer.
And
but
waivers and all that have all gone through?
Everything has went through. Thankfully, the University of Houston, they signed off on that pretty quick. But he's a young man that I think in due time, once he understands what we're trying to do here as a team, he's going to be great for us, But just a plethora of guys that came into this program. We needed the right fit from an academic standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, and a character standpoint, and I think we knocked it out of the ballpark.
So you got the home court advantage in March when the tournament comes to town. But what's been like the energy level around your campus about this change?
Well, people are excited. It's added pressure because it's right in our own backyard. There are only 8 teams make it out of the 10, and we want to make sure that we're here in March. One of those 8 teams. This is going to be our postseason, because if anybody who knows the Division I rules now with the transition, we can now play in the postseason for a few years. And
it's a bad law. It's a bad rule. Anyway, go ahead.
I can't comment, but I'm not going to disagree. But it's a rule. We know what we're getting ourselves into. We're going to abide by that, and we're going to put our best foot forward to be playing here in March. That's our term. Hopefully we do well enough to play in the CBI. But with it being our own backyard, it'd be shameful from my standpoint not to be playing. We have so many people here that's, wanting us to get there, but at the same time, you got to put the body of work in to get to that point. We have great fan base, the administration on campus, the student groups, organizations, our administration and athletics has put us in the best league. I think, we had a lot of different leagues that wanted us in, and I think we picked the perfect league to come into from a proximity standpoint, but also from a competitive standpoint, in terms of what teams have done last year. I think this league is wide open. You cannot forget the body of work that Morehead State has done last year, and every team has gotten better. SEMO, Arkansas, Little Rock coming in with the 3 new teams, Tennessee State, great coaches, and even better players in this league.
Is there a vibe on campus that you feel different, or can you tell a difference yet?
Not yet really.
He's online student, so
okay.
he's not feeling it, but I am.
At the games though, I can tell. Like volleyball games, we have more fans. Student section, be a lot of students there and stuff. So like that type of environment, yeah, I've been seeing a difference.
What do you like about your schedule? You had to put together a Division I schedule, and I know a couple of the games are like, what are we doing? Kind of. But tell me about your schedule.
I'll tell you what, scheduling is a lot easier. You know, I feel like when we were at the Division II level, we couldn't get guys to play us. Now everybody's calling us for games. So it was a lot easier. I'm sure my assistant coach who does scheduling probably feels the exact same way. But it's a tough schedule. But I wanted to put together something that gives us a chance to be ready for December 29th. We go and play Seymour in an opening game in the OVC. At Notre Dame, we won 24 games last year. I think they made it to the second or third round of the tournament. At Missouri, opening day, you can't overlook the body of work that Dennis Gates has done prior to his arrival at Missouri. And then we, IUPUI, IPFW, Chicago State, Western Illinois, St. Bonaventure, who else? Bowling Green. So I think, you got a great mix of tough games, but also some winnable games that we can take into conference play. But I think each and every game is going to prepare us a little bit for OVC play, and that's my end goal, is to have us ready to play come December once OVC play starts.
So I was texting with Marcus Wilson yesterday and telling him I was going to be in town. Do you guys connect at all?
Yes, Marcus and I go back from my playing days here at USI when he was over at U of E. I'm still trying to get that one-on-one game with him. I used to beat him up a little bit back in the day when I was here at USI. But Marcus, over the years, I think you guys worked together a little bit.
Yep.
But we've been knowing each other for years. He's a great coach, but even a better person. And I'm really excited he's back here in Evansville.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him and for when these two schools start playing every year.
Make that happen.
Somebody's got to do that, right? There's got to be a big trophy involved. I mean, it's just got to be a big deal.
I have a great plan in place. Once the two of us are ready to do that, we'll sit down at the table and make that happen. But the conversation we talked about it a couple of times. I coached David my first year coaching, so I know him very well. Know the family very well. And I think they knocked it out of the park with bringing him back. So
I think it's an exciting time in Evansville.
It is.
Before I let you guys go, talk about what makes him a good coach.
He's straight up with us. Really, he's tough on us. Pushes us all the time. But he also a good dude, a good coach. He's like a father figure, like a big brother to us. Really, he just want to see us be our best. So yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. All the best this year in the OVC.
Thank you.
That's the head coach and the star player of the USI Screaming. We'll go there and coach in just a minute. You're ValleyHoopsInsider.com.